Welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. Mac, we have our first Clemson player of our ACC Prospect Series. It took us long enough, right? I don't know what
Everybody's
we were doing.
coming back. It's not like we got a lot of guys to choose from. Everybody's coming back.
That's a good point, Mac. That's a very good point. But we have one of our absolute favorites in Barrett Carter, who is just a great interview, as you'll hear. Great guy. Very excited to see where he ends up. He's looking like he could end up pretty high in this draft process. We'll see, of course. And we've seen some linebackers from Clemson taken pretty high in the last couple of rounds. He mentions Jeremiah Trotter, who he's talked with a lot. Trenton Simpson's another name. So I'm really excited to see where Barrett Carter ends up, Mac.
Yeah, you draft a Clemson defender just in general, really a Clemson guy, but Clemson defender, these last handful, you're in a good spot. You're getting a winner, you're getting a dog, you're getting a guy that knows how to do it. And he's such a great representative for Clemson. And I know Clemson fans watching this and maybe some people that aren't, you're going to see that. This is a fantastic young man who just gets it. And he's somebody that you hope that your kids are like, and they grow up to be, not only great athletes, but in the community and how he handles his business. So really excited to see where he ends up. Really excited for you guys to jump in this episode and hear from Barrett Carter. He's the absolute best. Without further ado, let's get to the president, Mr. Carter.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Barrett Carter, the president, Mr. Carter. I always love saying that, man. It's just catchy, it feels good, and you have that aura. It's who you are. You give off that type of energy. Great to see you, brother. You look great. You look big time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here with y'all. Glad to be on the show and chop it up with y'all. It's been a couple years since I was on here last, but it's good to be back for sure.
Barrett, I think the last time you were on, and I hate to bring this up, but I'm pretty sure it was before the Georgia game. So, times have changed. Things have changed there.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys finished the season so strong and all that, which was really fun to see. But speaking of that, so the season finishes, you finish in the playoff in Austin, and then boom, hopefully you had a little bit of a break, Christmas and all that, and then you've been full speed ahead. Walk us through that process.
Yeah, so we played on December 21st. Obviously, season ended there. And just being straight up, I didn't do anything until I got out to California on the second. Just completely rested my body. I did not work out one time, didn't do anything but play video games and, spend time with my family just because I was going to be gone for a couple months. So I got out to California January 2nd. I was working out there I had a great group of guys, great trainers, and just waking up and just doing what I love every single day. So that was super fun. The weather was amazing, as we could probably assume being in California, but it was a super cool experience just waking up and just grinding every day and just chasing my dreams.
I love it. It's a job now, right? Not that you kind of haven't had that mindset, I'm sure, your entire career, but it's real now. And,
right.
There's no class, there's no anything. And I'm sure just the man you are, you're so dialed in because this is it. This is the audition. Let me do this while I can, and then, have fun later. What's that process been like, man? We've talked to a lot of guys, and, it's just because you've been in that Clemson bubble your whole career. And now you're stepping outside of it. And I'm sure you've got great guys that you connected with in Cali and things of that nature, but you're truly on your own. Those guys don't care about you like I'm sure your teammates and coaches do. And so you've got to do it all yourself. How has that been, or how was that for you for those couple months?
Yeah, it was great. And like I said, I was going to work with guys from different schools around the country and just hearing their perspective and hearing their stories from their schools. It was super cool to just, kind of just hear what they went through during their 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was. And just kind of compare it to how we were at Clemson and just chop it up with them. But the big thing that I would say is here at Clemson, like, we're so blessed. We have so much stuff here, so many resources, and like out there, we had a great training facility. Don't get me wrong, but like if I wanted to go do some cryotherapy, I had to go down the road and pay like
Pay
$100.
for it.
Yeah, like so that was probably like a big thing for me because like obviously we have all the things down here in our recovery space, and I love recovery and all that. So that was like a big change up for me, just actually after, because I love investing in my body and all that, but it was crazy. I had to pay out of my own wallet to get some recovery in, but it was a super cool experience. Like I said, just waking up, doing what I love every single day, and chasing my dreams. So it was fun.
KG, I will say that's one of the biggest shockers, and at the next level too. When you get to the NFL, depending on the team, we've got it made at Clemson, and you don't even really realize it because you're there every day. But when you step outside, when I went to train for the league, I'm looking around like, yo, this place sucks. Why did I pick here compared to school? But you have great teachers and things of that nature, so it's worth it.
Yeah, whole different world, the real world, right? Not everything is just right there for you, Barrett. It's going to be different, but it'll be good. Overall, you talked about talking with some other guys and getting to know some of these other guys. Have you talked with any either former Clemson teammates that have gone through this process? I mean, think about like Trenton going through it last year, or any guys like that, just to kind of figure out what to expect?
Yeah, so I talked to Trot the most, just him being a guy I came in with, and him being my roommate, and the guy I played beside for 3 years. But I talked to Trot a lot about the process, and Trot actually trained in the same spot, so I definitely leaned on him a lot. Just try to get in the heads up of like what to expect and what to be aware of. But I would say Trot was a main guy. Jordan McFadden, Xavier Thomas, Shipley. I would say those 4 guys probably the main guys I talked to and just pick their brain, just see how the process went. And but I got out there and I felt so prepared, like coming from Clemson, but just chopping it up with them, and they just gave me so much good insight of like what to inspect or what to expect, and how to go about things and all that. So definitely picked all their brains, but coming from Clemson, I felt so prepared. Like I felt like I could have stepped into any room in the country and like I could have taken over that room. So I felt great about all of it.
That's right. That's why I called you the freaking president, man, because that's what you do. That's what you do. And you put in the work, and you made the most of the opportunities. And I love seeing that Paul behind you. And I love that you're giving, credit there, because we do owe it everything. The opportunities that we've given or been getting because of that, Paul, is insurmountable. And it's cool to see you taking advantage of that, see you to recognize that. Let's talk combine, because that's, you talk about walking in any room, you probably walked into a bunch of rooms, and it was probably a lot of people sitting there just staring at you when you opened the door. Give us kind of your combine story and how that went for you.
Yeah, it was a great experience. At first, I grew up watching the combine my whole life, and to actually like be the guy going into these rooms and being asked questions and watching my film and breaking down film and all the things I had to do, like it was a great experience. But it was, what I didn't know about the combine is how late the nights would be and how early how early the mornings are. Like we would finish 12, 1 o'clock sometimes, and got to be up at 5 or 6. And that was probably the most surprising thing to me. But I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. It was super cool, just seeing coaches I've like grown up seeing on TV, and getting to meet them and shake their hand and talk ball with them and talk life and all the things. And that was probably like the coolest thing. Like I felt like I was like a little starstruck at one point, just meeting like the John Harbaughs, the list goes on. But
Sure.
when I shook John Harbaugh's hand, I was like, wow, like this is pretty crazy. But it was a super fun experience, and I try to just make the most of it, and do what I do on the field, and just be the man that I am in the room. So, but it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade for the world.
We had EJ Manuel on telling us about the combine, and it sounds a lot less glamorous than people think when it comes to kind of the late nights, the medical stuff that you have to do, and that just takes forever. What was talk about like meeting with all these teams? Normally we hear some story about some guy being asked something crazy. Like, did you get any weird questions where you're like, why does this apply to football?
See, that's why I was kind of mad. I didn't get any weird questions.
Okay.
The only
what
thing
everyone's been saying this whole time, every prospect. We've
Maybe
had
they've stopped. I don't know.
the only like I would say weird statement I got is my freshman year. I got pulled over. I don't remember why I got pulled over. I think it was a speeding ticket. I didn't even get a ticket though. But I'm meeting with a team, and they were
What?
like, "So what is this non-ticketed traffic stop that you got on campus from your freshman year?" And
What?
I was like, I don't even remember this myself. And I'm just like, how do y'all know about that? Because I didn't get a ticket for it. Nothing on my record. Like my record's clean. No, like everything's clean. I'm just like, how do y'all know about this?
That's wild. So you probably rolled a stop sign and they're asking you about it.
I couldn't even tell you what I did. I know I did not get a ticket for it. There's nothing showing up there's nothing on my record. And I'm just like, how do y'all know about that? So
It's
no weird
somebody's
questions, but
uncle's brother that
That's
pulled you
crazy.
over. And that's like
probably,
the look of life. That's the highlight of
yeah,
their life.
yeah. So no weird questions, but that was a weird statement that they brought up for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny,
Wow.
man. I think, one thing that we've discussed your entire career is your versatility and the ability to play inside, outside. You have great speed, side to side, and aggressive nature. You're a great blitzer with timing and disguising, but also finishing the deal, once you get there. How were those kind of evaluations? What were, I guess, people leaning? Did they kind of default to you in regards to where you'll even play? Linebacker's linebacker, but it's really not.
Yeah, I mean they said that my game translates like perfectly to the NFL. Just the way that offenses love to, take defenses sideline to sideline, and you got to have guys at all positions that can run. They said that like my skill set, my versatility fits perfectly. And so I've heard different things. I've heard inside. I've heard, you know, going back and playing like a dime or whatever people like to call it. So I've heard a multitude of different spots, but they said just with my versatility, my speed, my athleticism, my ability to cover and blitz, and all the things, like they said, it translates perfectly to the NFL game. So I'm excited to showcase that skill set in a few months, and take off the underwear and just put full pads on and you just try to hit somebody. So that's what I'm excited for, that just playing ball again, and no more 40s, no more all that stuff. So ever,
Yeah.
ever, thankfully. But I'm excited to get back on the field and hit some people and play actual football again.
I know people love to hear that. How about just from your comfort level? I mean, do you like, or would you prefer to drop back and get your hands on the football and go score, or you like being around that line of scrimmage and let's try to hit a quarterback?
I just like playing football. Yeah,
Yeah.
so if that's me playing nose tackle, then I don't know how effective that would be, but uh, if that's me, I just like playing ball. I played all three linebacker spots. I've gone back and played safety. I played slot corner. I played nickel. I played it. I played it all, and I like playing ball, and that's why I train. Well, that's why I do the type of training I do in the off season, so I can have that versatility. So if they need a guy to go blitz off the edge, I can do that. If they need a guy to play backer, I can do that. So I mean, that's just why I work hard in the off season and just train my body the way I do. Just if someone needs me to play a position, I can go do that at a high level.
Well, there's the headline, Mac. Barrett Carter transitioning to nose tackle. We're ready for it. Ready to see that at the next level, Barrett. Just kidding. But okay, you're in Clemson, you're training there. We've talked about all the resources you have there, obviously. Can you just I know there's Clemson fans watching, listening to this, who want to hear Barrett Carter's perspective on new defensive coordinator Tom Allen, and even more so, new linebackers coach Ben Boulware, a former
Yeah,
teammate of Eric McLean's. So
yeah,
what have you seen from these guys just kind of being around the facility?
yeah. I mean, first off, from Coach Allen, just I went to the practice. I can't remember the day. It was the week leading up to pro day. It was on a Saturday. I went to that practice. So that was my first look at him. And, obviously I've been talking to the guys since I've been in California, and they've all been telling me like how much they love him and just how intense he is and how much of a great man he is. But I got to see it firsthand. And that energy that he brings is different. Like different. Like it's truly contagious. Like he has his own microphone at practice, and that's a new thing for me because usually it's just Coach Sweeney with the microphone, but he has his own microphone and he's yelling, he's screaming, he's getting excited when guys make plays, and but he has a different type of energy, a different type of vibe to him, and the guys really feed off of that, and that's what I saw firsthand. Like, I mean, Clemson football posted it. AV got a pick, and like the whole defense like stormed the field, and that was just something super cool to see. Just from AV, but just see that energy just, carrying throughout the whole defense and see them making plays and having fun. And then, Ben Boulware, Coach Boulware, having been around last year, my senior year was so helpful. Just having a guy who's been in my shoes, who's been the senior leader, who's been a national champion, who brought Clemson back to the top of the mountain, like having him around and just picking his brain was like so helpful for me, but also so helpful for these young guys too, who like maybe you're a freshman like Sammy Brown coming in and getting to learn from a legend at this school. Like that was truly like it was special to have him around. And having him as a linebacker coach now, like those guys they're going to be at another level this year, and I can't wait to see it. But Ben Boulware, he's going to be a great coach for years to come, for sure.
Something where as soon as he announced, or it was announced that he was going to be on the staff in whatever capacity, I said, okay, he's going to be the guy really soon. And you never know how it's going to happen. And I hate that anybody has to, lose their jobs, but it is what it is. And this is a business. And I think that Clemson and the Clemson defense is in a really good spot right now. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I want your opinion on another guy because I think you guys have a great relationship. I think you guys are very tight, and that's Cade Klubnik.
Yeah.
He took his game to a place, Barrett, that given what we saw 2 years ago, I didn't know if he could get to, and it's just part of it. Guys are really good. And then there's another step to get to be a great college player. And I just didn't know if he would be able to get there. And he sprinted through it. I mean, he was electric. He was arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year. I think he's going to be the best quarterback in the country this year. How did he do it? What things did you see? What differences? Because now that you're not, necessarily teammates, you can maybe talk about the work that he put in a little differently.
Yeah, and I love sharing this story about Cade. A lot of guys like to say, they're gonna be the first one in, the last one out. Cade truly is an epitome of that. Like, and I've never said this story. Actually, this is cool. This past semester, we have like our lifts throughout the season. So there's a 6:30, a 7:30, an 8:30, and a 1:30. And me, I had no class. I graduated in December. I had nothing to do. So I'm gonna get as much sleep as possible, right? I'm gonna go to that 8:30. I'm gonna sleep in and go to the 8:30. And I remember, I think it was week 1 against Georgia. I went to the 8:30 and Cade was finishing up in the 6:30. And he pressed me for going at 8:30. Like he was being dead serious. Like he wasn't kidding around. Like he actually he was like, are you really about to we've all been lifting at 6:30, 7:30, you're really about to go to the 8? Like he actually pressed me about that. And I was like, wow. And then seeing what he did that season, this past season, I'm like how you do anything is how you do everything. And Cade was truly first one in the building and last one to leave. Like I was one of the last ones to leave, but whenever I would leave, I'm seeing Cade's great pickup truck still in the parking lot. He's up top watching film, doing his thing. And so I think that's just a testament to why he had the season that he had. Truly just representing Clemson in that way. I'm going to be the first one in the building. I'm going to hold guys accountable. I don't care who you are. You can be the senior leader, whatever. You can be the senior captain leader. I'm still going to call you out. And he was the last one to leave the building every single night. And he was consistent with that the whole year. And I know that's why he had the season that he had. He stepped up tremendously as a leader from his sophomore to junior year. And that's why he balled out, just because, he wanted to do more, and he did more off the field. He did more as a leader. He did more just putting in that extra time. So I think that's why I know that's why he had the year that he had.
That's a great story, Barrett. I appreciate you sharing that. And that's, I get it. You're saying, dude, I don't have class. Can I please sleep some? We've been getting up at 5 a.m. for, however many years. But Cade I guess it was more the example you were setting, or just the idea of, not being at 6:30.
Well, and I'll give you credit too, Barrett. You could have, pushed him and said, get out of my face. What are you doing? But you were receptive, and it probably made you go even harder. And you guys had a great year and won the ACC and went to the playoff. I mean, it's just
it's a great point.
It shows. It shows.
I loved
It's a great job.
It was great.
And Barrett, speaking of that, because that playoff game, let's just stay there for a second. So Mac and I were both there in person. Great game. And Texas, obviously, a really good team. I thought even specifically in that game, Cade showed us something else. He went to a different level against that Texas defense that had given up 4 passing touchdowns all year, something crazy. What did you take away from that last game, and how do you think that can translate to this coming season?
I think what was cool about that game is that Cade had every right to be distracted, every right to let outside noise in. Being a hometown kid from Texas, playing against a team that he probably grew up going to games, and to the fact that he really walked into their stadium, and obviously we lost, but just he still did his thing. Like that shows the type of guy he is. Like he doesn't care about all the outside noise. Like his name has been thrown through the ringer. Like everyone marked Cade off this or 2 years ago. Like everyone said who's Cade? Like everyone did that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I'm so proud of Cade. And I've truly I've told him how proud I am because of this. And like the on-field stuff, all that speaks for itself. But the way that he carries himself, regardless if he just threw for 5 touchdowns or he didn't throw for a single touchdown, he's the same guy every single day. And he doesn't let the outside noise get into his head. He's truly a man of God. He leads our Bible study groups. He's a great man in all aspects. And that's why I'm glad that, he had the season that he had, and I know he's going to keep building off of that. But, he's a guy who's just locked in on his team and himself and, being the best version of himself. And he doesn't let the outside noise get to his head. And that's why he's been so successul.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. All right, let's bring it back to you because this conversation is about
Cade all day.
I know, and that's why you're a great teammate and a great player, and guys want to play with you. But you're going to hear your name called pretty early in this whole NFL draft process, and if that's the first round or early in the second, whatever. What is that going to be like, man? Because you kind of touched on it a little bit. I grew up watching the combine, and I'm here, but when you hear that, and the commissioner or whoever calls your name and tells you where you're going, what's that going to be like for you?
It's going to be probably the most special moment of my life. And I'm so competitive. Like whenever I accomplish a goal, I'm going to celebrate that goal, and I'm going to be excited in that moment, but it's not going to take long for me to be on to my next goal. And, that's a great thing. That's a great trait to have, but it's also not so great of a trait. But in that moment, I'm probably gonna cry my eyes out, and then it's gonna set in for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, now I got to go lead my team to a Super Bowl. Now I got to go try to get Defensive Rookie of the Year. So that's just how my brain's wired. Like once I accomplish that goal, it's always on to the next, and the best is always yet to come. I learned that here at Clemson, and I truly stand on that. But I'm not gonna downplay that moment. It's gonna be the best moment of my life. I'm gonna truly feel like my work is paid off, and there's still a lot more work to be done. But whenever that is, I'm excited. I'm excited to spend that moment with my family and see where I end up.
I hope you celebrate it, Barrett. I hope you can live in the moment at least for a few days. That'd be good. So
hope I can too.
Yeah. We're excited to hear where you end up. Here's the last one for me, and we ask a lot of guys this, but I'm curious to hear what you say. Whoever drafts you, what are they getting with Barrett Carter?
Yeah, I think first off, they're getting a day one leader, someone who's coming in, who's not afraid to call anybody out. So I mean, if I see a veteran slacking, I'm not afraid to call that out because it's going to be for the betterment of the team. And, that's something that if you were to ask me this 3 years ago, I would not have said that. But I've truly grown into that. I've grown that confidence. And but you're getting a day one leader. You're getting someone who's going to empty the tank for his brothers every single day, for his program every day. You're getting a winner. I've won 40 games in college, and, really there's not many guys who can say that. You're getting a servant in the community. And you're gonna get a guy who's gonna try to lead your team to a Super Bowl. I'm a winner, and by any means necessary. And it's hard to win, and I'm not naive to that. But where I come from, even going before Clemson, where I come from, winning is in my DNA, truly. And I don't plan on stopping that anytime soon. So you're getting someone who's gonna empty the tank every single day and just lay it out all on the line for his brothers.
Yeah. You know what it takes. You know what it looks like. You know what it takes. And I think that's going to translate really well. Whoever's lucky enough to be able to draft you, man. We're excited for you, Barrett. Thank you for your time. Great seeing you always.
Yes,
and
sir.
Excited to see where you end up, buddy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks again to Barrett Carter for joining us. Mac, we could tell he was in Clemson with the Tiger Paw behind him.
That's right.
I hope that he is taking full advantage of all of his free resources at Clemson, getting some cryotherapy, things of that nature. Because, the real world is a little different.
It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap, no. KG. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely not. I hope he gets a nice nap in the nap room, and then, all those types of things.
You remember when that was like,
yeah,
the pinnacle, that we have a nap room? Oh my gosh.
It's a big deal.
We thought we were doing it. Now it's a little different.
The amount of naps I took on the couch in the women's basketball locker room with like a towel over my face because
all the lights on is so bright. It's
terrible. Anyway, Barrett was great, and I really enjoyed hearing his thoughts on Tom Allen and Ben Boulware. I think that a lot of Clemson fans will watch that or see that and think, oh yeah, that's what we've been waiting for. So that was really cool. And then his thoughts on Cade. Like, I told Barrett this afterwards. We asked him about Cade, and he seemed, he kept going on. So we asked him a little more. And it takes a humble guy to, we're talking to him about his NFL draft stuff, and he's just going on about Cade, and he's happy to do it. Like, that just, I don't know. That speaks to who he is as a guy, really.
I think so. And I think it's why he's such a great teammate. It's why whoever gets him is going to be extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Because not only is, like I mentioned, he a fantastic player that can do anything, can cover, can blitz, can, take the run in the gap, can cover, a tight end or a slot guy, but also he's a great teammate, and he's going to love the dudes that are around him. Those dudes are going to love him. And just his energy is going to be fantastic. And I really, KG, I think, circumstantially, I think his best ball is ahead of him. I think that guy has a lot to learn. I think it's great that he has the prototypical body and athleticism to do it. And now we're going to see him take another step with just learning and knowing and, being the quarterback, of a defense. So really excited. As you mentioned, very grateful for Barrett and his time. These have been so much fun. I keep saying that. But we're excited to see where these guys end up. So we appreciate you guys always for tuning in. Drop some comments. Tell us where you think Barrett is going to end up. We've done some research. A lot of people are saying early first round, kind of in the teens, and have seen him, back in the 20s as well. So we'll see. It'll be fun to find out. But appreciate you guys always. Until next time, we'll see y'all.